video. I'm in my 928. Finally able to have both vehicles at home. Um, for a while, I had one at work and then one at home, and I would flip flop depending on what I had going on. You know, it's kind of weird, like trying to come up with content. It's always interesting to me as to what gets a lot of views and what doesn't. I'm always kind of surprised. Sometimes I think one particular video is going to do really well and it doesn't, and then another video where I'm just kind of like, it's not that big of a deal, or I don't think it's going to be that much of anything, and then it does pretty well. And it's all relative. Like, doing pretty well is over 1,000 views or so in a few days. What was interesting is that I noticed that when I talk about kind of like ownership experience and anything negative about the 911, it gets a lot of views, especially like the 997.2. And I think it's a combination of the fact that it's a popular vehicle, and if people are interested in whatever owners' opinions, and then if they're negative in any way, they are interested in that, because I don't think that's as common. The car itself is fine, I think, for what it is. But what's interesting to me is like the owner, the type of owner it attracts. So I was thinking about this, and like, when you talk about a Porsche type owner, or a Porsche, a Porsche enthusiast, I kind of think that you have to talk about different categories or different types of people that are interested in these cars. And I'm going to argue that, to me, a Porsche owner, or when someone says they're into Porsches, I really have to kind of qualify it and figure out what type of Porsche are they into. Because if it's like an air-cooled Porsche, or a 944, 928, 924, 914, that's my kind of Porsche owner. That's what I think I am. And those types of owners are into 911s, basically 911s going up in the years. So, for example, like a air-cooled 911 owner, or what I'm defining as like a true Porsche enthusiast, are into 914s to a certain degree, the older 911s, or whatever the numbers are for those cars, air-cooled 911s, water-cooled 911s, all the way up to the most current, more or less, 911s, right? The 2000 or the 991 generation to 992 generation. And we're basically kind of like hemming and hawing about what's kind of coming out. We don't feel that great about it, I'm going to say. We feel, hey, it's a great car, but we don't feel that great about it, in the sense it's not like something that excites us. Now, the GT3s, and I forget that other one that just came out, those are in line with what we think a Porsche should be. But the kind of like, whatever, the run-of-the-mill 992, 991, it's not, I don't think, is something that we're all that jazzed about. And the other thing that I think makes us feel, I don't know, somewhat not that great, is the audience, or the current customer base it's attracting, and those people calling themselves Porsche enthusiasts, which I'm going to say are not true in the sense of true Porsche enthusiasts. Because you take a 991.1 or 992 owner, and you ask them whether they're into 928s, 924s, 944s, air-cooled 911s, and the only one they're going to say is, "Oh, I like the air-cooled 911s. They're so cool." And it's not because they've ever had one or driven one or um, truly experienced one. It's because of the value of the car and the fact that it's a really hot vehicle right now. That's why they're into it. It has nothing to do with actually like driving the car or some kind of, you know, passion for that particular car. It's because it's the hot thing, and the rest of mods and the singers and whatever else is out there now for these cars. That's why they're into that car. And so that's what I'm saying, is that type of owner is not a true Porsche enthusiast. Whereas you take, someone who's into the air-cooled, vehicles, 911s and the 928s, 940s, and all that other stuff, like myself, we're happy with almost any generation of 911. However, the newer stuff is just kind of like, is really kind of like disappointing to us, except the GT3 versions, of course. And that's what I'm saying, is the GT3 versions and I forget the name of the most recent one that's like the purest driver's car. Those are the cars that we're into. And so I don't know, to me, like, I'm getting my, pulse on the 911 community from what I see on YouTube, basically. And whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But that's all I kind of like watch in terms of media and what's out there. And I'm always a little bit like disappointed in watching the videos, because a lot of them are interesting to a certain degree and they have value, but only about 20% of it. The rest of it is just like that stuff that I was talking about in my other video, where it's a lot of show. It's a lot of like the look of the car, and like just it's interesting. And I guess I should be a little bit more in tune with the forums, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the forums, like Renless and any other forum. I think it just gives you like a weird perspective of the community. It's a subset of the community versus the real community, and what is the real community, I have no idea. But I know it's not necessarily in line with how I feel about the car or anything like that at times. So, anyways, that's what I feel about these newer 911 owners. I think that, I don't know, I wouldn't call them true Porsche enthusiasts. Now, I guess I should qualify that with the fact that I've never been to any of these, like, Porsche meetups or whatever it is. And the reason I don't go to these things is because I have there's nothing about that community that I've seen online that makes me kind of like want to join them. It just kind of, like I said in my other video, they just seem douchey to me. Like it's a big thing of like, oh, that's that, you have that thing and that thing, and oh, you didn't get the latest of that or whatever like that. And I want to say that's probably the case with all car communities or enthusiasts for one particular car or not. They just get into the weeds of things. Turn off the air. Just lower the windows.